Hello, my merciful brothers and sisters. It is I, MisterMercy, bringing you another video with some Overwatch gameplay. Today, I want to talk about one particular change that has hit the PTR this week, alongside Sombra, and that is the one hero limit in quick play. Now, for the longest time, I've sympathized with both parties in this ongoing casual versus competitive mindset war of Overwatch, but I've always voted for segregating the competitive players into their own game mode instead of doing the same for casual players. I believe that competitive players wouldn't mind being split up from the casual fan base as much as the casual fan base would mind being forced into the competitive style of play. But when the arcade was announced for BlizzCon and 6v6 No Limits was said to replace quick play as we knew it, with quick play getting the one hero limit, admittedly I was optimistic that it would do well, as long as casual players had a place to play the game without hero limits. You know, that was fine with me. But however, after getting into quick play for myself and playing it for myself, I am less hopeful about its success, because the main problem that I see with quick play is that Blizzard wants to turn it into an unranked competitive mode. Now, if you guys recall, in one of my videos I did a long time ago, I argued that there should be an unranked competitive mode, but I never intended for quick play to be changed to accommodate that idea. Personally, this is what I think is going on, is I think that the devs of Overwatch want everyone to take the game super seriously, like an esport, because of course they think that esports, that's where all the money is. But Blizzard knows that the casual players who just want to play the game for fun, they make up the bulk of the audience that bought the game, and they are the ones earning Blizzard the most money. So Blizzard has kind of been forcing the devs to give the casual players something to keep them happy, and of course that ended up being 6v6 No Limits. But the fact that they hid it away in the arcade shows that they don't want players to focus on it. They want them to focus on the one hero limit quick play that they're trying to make people take super seriously now all of a sudden. And I mean, it has been statistically proven that people by nature will gravitate to the easiest thing to do, and when you're faced with 2 clicks to queue up for a game, because you would go into the play menu and then you go in quick play, as opposed to the 3 clicks that it would take you to get queued up into a no limits match from the main menu, statistically people should be choosing the quick play more. This to me was the beauty of quick play. 2 clicks and you're queued up into a match, and you didn't have to worry about your hero being unavailable if you didn't comp, because hero stacking was allowed, and you could just unwind, have some fun with Overwatch, not have to worry about, oh god, what if my hero that I like is picked, what if the hero that I want to play is picked. You didn't have to worry about it. It's like, I'm going to go in, I'm going to play Symmetra, or I'm going to play Mercy, or I'm going to play McCree, and just do it. Now, I don't care what happens, I don't care what my team thinks about it, I'm just going to go in and I'm going to play that hero, and switch if I feel like switching, and just go in and have fun with it. And of course you can still do this with 6v6 No Limits, but as I said, it is a bit more work to get to, and the queue times for it are longer because people just want to get into the game and play, and they're spending most of their time in quick play, leaving the queue for the 6v6 No Limits comparably harder to get into. I mean, yeah, you will get a game eventually, and it doesn't take a millennia to get into a game in No Limits, but compared to quick play, the queue times are definitely longer in No Limits. So we can talk about the splitting up of the player base all day long, but that's not going to get to the root of the issue about why this one hero limit is a problem. And the root of it all, and the reason why this one hero limit in quick play will not work, is because of communication. Because people go into quick play to not have to deal with being like a top level teammate who's constantly focusing on the game and doing call outs and stuff to their teammates, and and working with their team to make a perfectly balanced team comp and everything. They play quick play to get away from all of that. And they may use the communication wheel in quick play, but that's about it. They don't really go beyond that. Most of the people that I've seen in quick play that use their mics are either just reacting into some exciting moments that happen in game, or they're just gonna be toxic players that are just shitting on everybody and giving them a bad time. So there isn't any team coordination in quick play because that's not what quick play is there for. It's there to play what you want and have fun. And the reason why the one hero limit works in competitive is that people have to communicate about hero picks, or at the very least communicate about switching heroes. And in competitive, people care more about their team comp and usually just stick to a very small but varied hero pool anyway, and they're totally fine with playing a hero that maybe they don't like as much just to fit that team comp better. They're usually more okay with that. And very rarely have I ever seen arguments in competitive break out over who gets to play what hero, because everybody understands what their role is, everybody's comfortable with those heroes, and even if they may not be their favorite hero, or even if that's not what they really feel like playing, they play it because they're more focused on the win and don't really care about playing what they want to have fun. They're there to play what they need. So with the new quick play though, I have seen more arguing over who gets to play what hero than I have ever seen in competitive, because quick play now has just become a race to insta-lock the hero you want to play and hope you can get it. And if you don't get it, you'll either be stuck playing a hero that you don't want to play, and maybe you aren't that good with, which will of course put your team at a much greater risk of losing than you would have if you were allowed to just pick whatever you were comfortable with. Or the second option is you bitch and argue about it with your teammates in chat over the mic and just demand that they switch because you want to play that hero. Because the one hero limit in quick play, in my opinion, is just going to be a toxicity breeding machine. And despite what the devs think, introducing it is not going to increase the longevity of the game. Between the toxicity of quick play and the long queue times of no limits, players who aren't into competitive Overwatch will just stop playing altogether and move on to another game that respects their desire to not take the game too seriously and just have fun with it. Now, I know you people over at Blizzard want Overwatch to be the next big esport. You want it to be as big as League of Legends or Dota or stuff, but forcing people into the competitive mentality to try to make that happen, that's not going to bode well for you. Of course, the reason why the one hero limit was called for in the first place is because people were sick of dealing with cheese teams. People who would pick like 6 Symmetras, or 5 Torbs and a Lucio, or maybe 4 Bastions and 2 Mercies. Now, I understand the frustration about that, and I don't think that those complaints should be overlooked. Those are really valid complaints to have about quick play. And we absolutely do need to stop cheese teams from being a thing, because they're very frustrating to play against and it's not fun to play against them. But I think that I have some ideas about how we could, keep cheese teams from really being a thing without alienating the casual players. So the first and most obvious solution would be to simply just do what I suggested in my competitive versus quick play video, that is, segregate the competitive players into their own game mode instead of doing the same to casual players. A competitive practice mode, which is a name that I came up with that sounds a lot better and far less confusing of a name than competitive quick play. A competitive practice mode that did not have skill rating or competitive points, but still kept all the same core elements of competitive play, I think that would do phenomenally. I think that the competitive players would absolutely love that. And hell, Blizzard could even promote it in conjunction with the Overwatch League, encouraging players who have these big pie-in-the-sky dreams of going pro in the Overwatch League. They could tell them in like promotional videos and stuff, say, hey, they can encourage them to say, hey, if you want to become a big pro in Overwatch League, you want that big monthly check, you want to have your name up in lights, and this is where you start, competitive practice mode. And they could point players in that direction who dream of going pro in the Overwatch League and say, this is where you start, competitive practice mode, go play it. this like solution, it keeps Overwatch a competitive game, it promotes the esports, and it doesn't force casual players to pick up the competitive mentality just to play the game. And the second solution, which in my opinion is the best one, it's not all the solutions that I have, but in my opinion it's the best, and it's one that I've seen floating around a lot, like in-game chat and on the forums and stuff, among people who are also upset with the 1 hero limit in quick play, and that's to instead implement a 2 hero limit. I can see this working really well because, for starters, if people can pick 2 of the same hero on a team, that heavily increases the chance that your team will have another spot available for your favorite hero or the hero you want to play, or if 2 of the same heroes are chosen, that also increases your odds of a different hero that maybe you want to play not being picked at all. So look at it this way: in the current 1 hero limit quick play, your odds of getting to play the hero you want are 1 in 23. Those are pretty slim odds. However, with a 2 hero limit, suddenly your odds go up to 1 in 12, effectively doubling the odds that you get to play who you want. Now, my math may be totally wrong there, since I kind of suck at math, but you get my point. So the second benefit to a 2 hero limit is that they are far easier to counter than a 4, 5, or 6 hero stack. If your team is even remotely competent, they can easily devote the resources they need to take out like 2 bastions without even having to double hero stack themselves. As long as players focus those bastions properly, then you're all good. It increases the chance for everyone to play what they want to play. It isn't as overpowered as some of the true cheese comps are. In my opinion, this solution is a win-win for everybody. Now, the third solution, which I think it might be the easiest one, but probably isn't the most preferred, is to simply just rename quick play to something else. The one with the 1 hero limit. Then you would take no limits out of the arcade and put it back on the main play menu, and just rename no limits back to quick play. This wouldn't really change anything, but it would just make the quick play that people are familiar with, and the quick play that people want to just get into without any stress, and just get into a game and have fun with it. It would keep that there while also appeasing the people who do like the 1 hero limit, and they would just change the name to something else, and call it something else, and I think that would work really well. But those are just my ideas, so let me know what you guys think Blizzard should do about quick play in the comments below. What do you think about the 1 hero limit? Do you like it? Do you dislike it? Let me know in the comments below. Remember, if you liked the video, leave a like. If you didn't, leave a dislike. Subscribe if you haven't already, and as always, I'm MisterMercy. Peace, everyone.